Rigorous mysticism, the sixfold interior science of conscious transformation. Science 1, ontology, the science of being, of existence, of what is. Science 2, cosmology, the science of the universe, of creation, of movement. This is how what is moves. Ethics, the science of action, the science of how do we actually live lawfully in accordance to reality. Now the thing is, this is kind of like where the first slip happens. People collapse ethics into morality, and it's like, those aren't the same thing. Okay? Like, ethics is about lawful action. Now, lawful action, like having good morals is a reflection of lawful action. It's because our morals are a reflection of our nature of like oneness, right? And so I'm not, shitting on morality. I'm not shitting on, like having good morals. No, you should. And you do, I'm sure. What I'm saying is, don't collapse ethics into, I think this is good or I think this is bad. That's too psychological and individualized. That's where shit goes wrong. Ethics needs to come from, reality is lawful. I should align myself with that place. That's the first three sciences. The thing is, these sciences are invariant. The principles of these things don't change. How reality, like what reality is, never changes. That's eternal. How reality moves and how it operates, although our understanding of this deepens, these operate on invariant principles as well. Like gravity doesn't just like turn off one day because I felt like it. You know what I'm saying? like gravity is a cosmological invariant. You see what I'm saying? This thing's always gonna fall. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? The universe has invariant principles. We can align with those principles, ethics, and take actions from that place. Like, the thing is, murdering someone is never justifiable. Well, you know what? Let's not go down that rabbit hole. What I'm saying is, I murdered this person because it felt good, and you can't judge me for doing that because this is who I am. It's like, yeah, nah. You go to prison. You know what I'm saying, dog? Okay? So, like, there are certain things where it's like, oh, that's not me, but it's like ball out, right? And it's like religion is like this, right? Like, I'm a Christian mystic. I'm not Jewish. I love Judaism. I'm not Islam. I haven't really studied much Islam, but I think that Islam has a lot of beautiful things. I'm not Hindu or I love the yogic sciences. I love Hindu. I love yoga. I love Taoism. I don't really consider myself a Taoist, though. A little bit. Right? Like, if somebody asks me, Jaden, what's your religion? I tell them I'm a Christian mystic, because that's what I am. You feel what I'm saying? Like, for me, that's right. For Jewish people, Judaism is their thing. Hindus, it's the same. Islam's the same. Taoist is the same. Right? Like, we all come to the one uniquely. And this actually perfectly ties into like science number 4. So let me just explain the second octave of rigorous mysticism. So the second octave of rigorous mysticism reflects the first octave. So the first octave is ontology, what is, the absolute. Cosmology is how what is moves through the universe, right? So that's what, how essence moves in existence in space-time, right? So ontology is eternal, it's unchanging, it's beyond space-time. Cosmology is within space-time, it's temporal. Cosmology has to do with manifestation, change, movement, transformation. Ontology is still. Ethics is alignment with that, is alignment with those two things, right? So ethics is, we are all one, right? That's ontology. We are all one in love. Things we're all also moving in that love, in that oneness, in this transformation. Based on those things, how do we align ourselves with that place? How do we align ourselves with that love and transformation, act lawfully, so that we can have a great experience and others can do the same? That's the first octave. Those are invariant universal principles, right? Like, it's never going to be cool to murder people because you think it's fun. Like, you're cooked, buddy. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's different than someone having a different religion than you. You know what I mean? Now we get into the second octave. These are the personal or unique truth octave, okay? And this is theology. Theology reflects ontology. So ontology is what the absolute is, baseline, like not what God does, not how God behaves, not how God is moving through the universe. No. What is reality? That's ontology. How reality is moving in the universe, cosmology. How we align with that, ethics. How I personally relate to that absolute, now we're talking theology, baby. Now, this is the first problem. A lot of people collapse theology into ontology. You can't do that. This is where religious dogma comes from, right? I was just talking to you guys about how your spiritual path is your spiritual path, right? Your religion is your religion, and it's beautiful. The problem is a lot of religions say that, like, we have the one truth. Like, we have, like, the one door to get to the infinite. If you don't knock on this door, you're not getting there, baby. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, but hold up. I thought we said God is infinite, right? Right. So it's like, if I went up to like any super devout Christian, Islam, Jew, right? Even like a Hindu, right? And I'd be like, so God is infinite, right? God is like all powerful, all knowing, and all present, right? God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Basically, everyone holds those same core. Like, if you're a theist, you believe those things, right? I'm like, okay, awesome. If that's the case, right? If God is all powerful, right? God is all power in the universe. God is infinite capability. There's nothing outside of God's will. God is infinite, okay? The thing is, love, like, God is love. Like, love and God aren't like two different things. It's not that God gives love. It's not that God behaves loving. No. God is love. Okay? So, like, when I say, like, God and when I say love, those are the same thing ontologically. Okay? God is love. God is one. God is law. Therefore, the law is one. Love. That's the law of love. That's ontology, right? Jesus, he articulated this pretty well. Jesus actually articulated the entire first octave of rigorous mysticism in one teaching. It's crazy, bro. Like, Jesus' mastery was really up here, bro. Bro was tapped in. When Jesus was asked, great teacher, how do I, like, what is the greatest commandment? Jesus responded. He said simply, he's like, oh, it's easy. Love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. For these two commandments fulfill the entire law and the prophets. It's like, shit. It's like, wait, hold up. These two commandments? The whole law? And all the prophets? Holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's crazy. The thing is, those two commandments, they're really one, right? What did Jesus say? He said, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your strength, right? Love God with your entire being. Love reality with your entire being. Devote to truth, to beauty, to goodness, to love, to service. But then he said, this hinge phrase, and the second is like it. That's correspondence. That's as above, so below. That's as within, so without. Love your neighbor as yourself. The thing is, Jesus didn't just say love your neighbor. He said love your neighbor as yourself. That's the whole teaching. Love God. Second is like it, love neighbor as self. Wait, so the whole teaching is to love God, love others, and love myself? That's one teaching. Love. How do I show my love for God? Loving God's people. serving God's kingdom. Showing that my self-love isn't staying inside of me, showing that my love for God isn't staying inside of me because it can't. It has to go out into the kingdom to serve others. When you love God with your entire being, all you want to do is not let God's love stay inside you and let it move through you into the world. You want to receive as much of God's love as possible because it's just so amazing. And you just want to be like, I can't hold all of this in. I got to give it back to the world because it's just so good. Like, I can't keep this all myself. I got to give it back. That's like when... Yo. I got his love, baby. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. When you love God with all your being, all you want to do is devote to self-mastery so that you can open yourself to more of God's love, to receiving more of God's love, and to purpose, to contribution, so you can give that love back to the world. It's so fucking... Yo, life is good, man. Life is good. God is love, baby. There's ontology, there's cosmology, there's ethics. That's the first octave. Then there's theology. Theology reflects ontology. There's alchemy. Right? So there's the law of love, right? Jesus articulated as love God, love your neighbor as yourself. That's the one law, right? That's ontology. And then how that one law moves through space-time, cosmology, that's the law of transformation. Thing is, transformation, it's lawful. It operates sequentially. I would break it down right now, but I really don't feel like it. Go check out the Substack. You can look up the unique self map in transformation. That's actually directly in the description. Or you can go on the Substack and you can read the article, One Law, Many Domains. You can learn about the creative process there. Or you can go on my TikTok. I think I have stuff on there. I haven't, but I'm not going to yap about it. I just don't feel like it. But reality transforms in a sequence. It's a 7-step sequence, and it doesn't change. Now, the thing is, the unique self involves itself with that process, and it participates in a unique way. And so the unique, like the way the cosmos themselves, the universe at large, transforms, invariant. The thing is, the creative process, right? Like when I say creative, generative, transformative, influential, alchemical, these are all the same thing at different levels of reality. Okay? Same thing. All going from one process, like from one side to the other. From potential to actual. From mind to matter. Like whatever it is. Like these are all the same process. Okay? From lead to gold. From non-existence to existence, right? Potentiality to actuality. Whatever it is. Creativity, transformation, influence, generation, alchemy. These are all the same process. They all follow the same law, the law of transformation. Right? And so there's cosmology, there's the law of transformation, how reality transforms from a cosmic perspective. There's also alchemy, which is how you uniquely participate within that transformation, right? So me personally, I am an ascriber of daimonic alchemy, which is coherence under pressure over time. And daimonic alchemy is for those who burn hot. It is not for those who lack of will. It is not for those who break when they're backs against the wall. It's for people who, when they're in the corner and they have two options, fight or die, the second option doesn't exist because their hands are already fucking swinging. You feel what I'm saying? And so if you're like that, you're probably like me, right? And if so, I can teach you some things about daimonic alchemy. Trust. You should words are hard. You should subscribe. Daimonic alchemy it's asymptotic alchemy. And asymptotic alchemy is retraining your perception on the infinite constantly, training your perception on the infinite, and willing and surrendering against the infinite. Thing is, daimonic alchemy is the art and the science of asymptotic alchemy, right? Coherence under pressure over time, through devotional flow state ritual. Like me, I'm practicing it right now. I'm literally in it right now, bro. Daimonic alchemy is willing yourself into surrender. I don't know if you can see here. Can you see over here? Yeah, you might be able to peep a little bit. I got like my meditation pillow there on the ground. I have like my meditation pillow just chilling there whenever I want to meditate. You know when I meditate? Like once or twice a week, right? Now, a lot of you spiritual motherfuckers might be like, wait, what, Jaden? You're not like meditating? You're like, oh my gosh, like, whoa. It's like, yeah, I'm not. And you know what? I'm way more present than you. My spiritual practice is way more disciplined than yours. You know why? Because your life is not separate from your spiritual practice. Your life is your spiritual practice. And so if you're someone who thrives not in finding will from surrender, right? Not like I'm in the flow and I'm just letting life take me, and then from that place I can take action, right? You're not someone who struggles with action. You're someone who struggles with surrender. You don't need to surrender into will. You need to will into surrender. Okay, there's a very clear difference. There's a very important distinction between those two things. If you're someone who struggles with like sitting their ass down and meditating because your body just wants to move, if you're someone who like gets caught with like 2 a.m. musings like that and you just gotta like write them down or like put them in your fucking notes, if you're someone who likes to hunt, I don't mean like physically hunting, I mean you feel like you're always on like going for new territory. You're always trying to understand things. You love your craft. You're dedicated. You're probably someone who burns hot. And so if that's you, I understand. And the thing is, the world, and especially a lot of spiritual motherfuckers, will tell us you have to learn how to surrender into will. And then you judge yourself when it doesn't work for you. You judge yourself when you can't meditate consistently. You judge yourself when you see other people, you know, moving through life slowly and, you know, wanting to have like structure first. But you're someone who just wants to be fucking taken by the unknown, and you worry about all that structure shit later. You're someone who can't fucking sit still for 20 minutes to meditate because all you want to do is move. There's too much fucking heat inside of you calling you to go. You don't need surrender into will. You need to will yourself into surrender. How do you do that? Willing yourself into flow state ritual. My fucking Google Calendar just went off. I was like, what the fuck? You need to will yourself into flow state ritual. The thing is, you already engage with flow states, I'm sure. Whether it's writing, speaking, if you're a lever watching this, governance, systems, capital allocation, strategy, decision-making, whatever it is. You have these flow state tasks where you're just so locked in, right? Maybe you're an athlete. Like, you know, like when athletes talk about getting in the zone, that's what I mean. That's what flow state is. Flow state is when the finite being, the finite will, and the infinite being, the infinite will, are aligned. It's when you're no longer striving in attempting to do something. You are now in the flow of what reality was already doing. And so the thing is, if you're someone who burns hot, you don't need to like the thing is, so like a lot of people will tell you if you want to get into the flow and into surrender, you have to like just do it somatically or into your body. You know what I mean? Like you have to do it interiorly, but that doesn't work. Like that doesn't work for us. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, bro. I've tried it a lot and I've failed a lot. And I've judged myself a lot for these things. And I've realized that's not how I'm fucking built. You know what I'm saying, dog? Like, I love meditating. And that's why I only do it like once or twice a week. Because when I feel that call to just be still in my body, I listen. Right? Like yesterday, I went to the library, and the library that I go to, it's on a college campus because that's the closest one. It's a public library. And so I was leaving, and I was like walking past their soccer or football field, and they had this just like this red line, like this like one red line going across like the horizon, like the horizontal part of the field, not like the super long part, you know, that part. And I was seeing this line, and it just made me want to sprint parallel to it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why, I just wanted to run when I saw the line. I saw a big field, I saw a line. I'm like, move body. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be real. There were some people kind of like walking on the path, and I was like, oh man, I don't want these people to like start judging me and thinking I'm like a psychopath. You know what I mean? And I was just like, you know, bro, I can't lie. I wanna fucking run. You know what I mean? Like, not to exercise, no, just to be free, just because my body wanted to run. So I took my coat off, and I waited like 2 minutes for the people that were walking to like walk far enough so they didn't see me. And then I did the sprint. And then afterwards, like, I kid you not, immediately as I started sprinting, I instantly was like, oh, this was the play. And then after I finished, I was like, that was good. Obviously, I had to catch my breath. And then I started like walking back, and I just saw the view, and I saw like, you know, I saw the view of nature, I saw the field, and I saw like all the buildings. And it was just so beautiful. I just wanted to take it in. And so I just sat my ass down right there in the middle of the field. Closed my eyes. Did a couple prayers. A few breaths. And then I opened my eyes back up. Sat with it. And then I got up. And I left. I just followed how the reality called me. You know what I mean? That was me willing into surrender. Not me surrendering in the will. That's the thing. You need to throw yourself at the wall. Throw yourself into the stream, right? The thing is, like, other people who aren't like us will tell you, oh man, you just gotta like, just like, you know, hop into the water and calmly, you know, like place one of your like toes in there and see how it's feeling first. And then you can like slip your way into it. It's like, what the fuck is this pussy ass shit? That shit is not gonna work, bro. It doesn't work. You know it. The only option is to stay outside the water or just jump the fuck all the way in. That's it. There's only two options, bro. And so the thing is, like, this is why understanding this is so important, because when it comes to alchemy, right? We already talked about like theological collapse in terms of like shaming other people's religion, you know, even though that's foolishness. God is infinite. Oh yeah, I forgot about the door analogy. Oh shit. Let's close that loop real quick. God is infinite. Love is infinite. Love is the only power that exists. So like, imagine love is like an infinite ocean, right? But then religion or whatever, methodology, science, philosophy, a person even, you know, says, hey, this one way is the way, right? This one door, you got to knock on this door before you can get into the infiniteness of love. And it's like, wait, but like, what about the door like next to it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, hold up. If love is infinite, how can love be constrained to a finite channel? It's like, no. Surely love has infinite channels because God is infinitely powerful. God has infinite doors. Right? And so like knocking on your door and entering God's love through your door, yo, ball out. Please do, gang. I love that for you. Just don't start judging other people for that. Don't start saying other people suck. Or even don't start judging yourself for not doing what they're doing. And this is like where we're getting into the alchemy thing. The reason this is so powerful, I mean, this is so important, is because you will judge yourself for how other people make progress, even though those people aren't you. And you'll even judge people who have the same temperament to you because they're similar, but those people still aren't you. And that's the problem, right? Like even when I was saying with like daimonic alchemy, flow state ritual, fire types, people who are taken, people who struggle with being still and want to find the stillness inside of the movement. You might hear me talking about that, diamonic alchemy, like, oh, say less. So what do I gotta do? Let me do what Jaden does. Let me write. Let me do YouTube videos. Let me do philosophy and poetry. Let me dance, whatever. No, but are those your things though? Like, I do those things because they're like, that's true for me. I will myself into philosophy and it works. I will myself into dance and it works. Is that your desire? Is that actually you though? Right? And so it's like, there's temperament, and temperament still usually has invariance, but everyone is unique. And this is the thing, like, even within like religion, right? Religion is like temperament. But even still, you have a unique relationship to God. You have a unique way of coming to the absolute. The thing is, like, and this is why this is so important, guys, like, God doesn't want you to act like everyone else. God wants you to be you, because that's who God made you to be. Like, reality is lawful and intentional. God is lawful and intentional with all of creation. All. That includes you. Everything in reality has purpose, has telos. This is why this exists. This is what its existence is. For me, like, my telos. Actually, I wrote it down here. Where's my journal at? This is actually perfect. Here we go. I got it in Latin and in Greek. I'll translate afterwards. Oculus physici. No, physicae. Physici. Yeah. Oculus physici. The eye of the scientist. Mens ingeniari. The mind of the engineer. Cor philosophi. The heart of the philosopher. Manus architecti. The hands of the architect. Anima artificis. The soul of the artist. Telos transformatio. Telos, transformation. So altogether, the eye of the scientist, the mind of the engineer, the heart of the philosopher. No, yeah. The hands of the architect, and the soul of the artist. Those are like Jaden's qualities. What's the telos? What's the purpose? Transform. Transform myself and create spaces, safe spaces for others to transform. Whether those be like face spaces, like safe spaces, like energetically, like if you're actually physically with me or my presence, that's like my advisory, or if we're having conversations or something like that. Or there is like indirect safe spaces, systems, architecture, like YouTube, or like Scriptōrium as a field, or like Ecclesia Renascantia or Academia Renascantia, my church and the library and school that I'm going to build, right? Those things are systems, those are structures, those are safe spaces. I create safe spaces so that consciousness can open itself up to the love and the transformation that was already there, and allow that love and transformation to move through it. That's it. Like, I'm not giving you anything, because it's not mine to give. You know what I'm saying? It's God's. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you're not like making yourself be able to do anything. You're just opening yourself up to the love that was already present, that was always present, never went anywhere. And you're opening yourself up to the transformation that was always moving. Right? Like we said, reality has invariant principles. You know how like physics is the science of how energy and matter transforms and moves? Yeah. Metaphysics is the science of that, just not in the physical world. Right? And so like not energy and matter, but energy and consciousness, energy and mind, right? telos, purpose. That's why you're here. The thing is, we all have a unique purpose, a unique calling. God made all of us with intent, right? Like, think about it like this. God made infinite tools because God has an infinite workshop and an infinite amount of problems to solve within that workshop. You are one of those tools. Now, just because you're one out of infinite, does that mean you're not important? No. Because this one tool has a specific problem that only this tool can solve. Only you. You have a unique set of experiences, a unique set of skills, a unique set of desires, a unique set of struggles that, if held, not denied, and transmuted into personal wisdom, can then be transmuted from personal wisdom to collective wisdom, from personal transformation to collective transformation. You have a unique circle of influence that you can impact with your unique gift. Your unique tool is here to solve a unique problem. The problem is when you're too busy worrying about how everyone else wants you to live instead of how God is calling you in your heart. You're going to be too busy doing other people's thing. You're going to be too busy worrying about how other people relate to the absolute. You're going to be too busy worrying about how other people transform. No. Fuck all that shit. God doesn't want you worrying about all those people and judging yourself. You should love those people. Don't make their opinions or their beliefs or their desires your reality. Your reality should be one thing. God's desires being experienced as your desires. Because really, that's what desire is. All desire is God's desire. Now the thing is, the ego kind of distorts this. The thing is, even still, like, the ego can actually operate from lack because we're finite beings, right? And so the thing is, like, infinitude, there's like two reasons to do something. There's lack and there's overflow desire. Lack is need. Lack is, I don't have something, I'm going to move so I can get it. Overflow desire is, I am already so full, but I want to explore more. I want to experience more. I want to understand more. I want to play more. I'm curious. Reality does not come from lack at all. There is no lack in God, period. Reality is divine inquiry in motion. The cosmos are divine inquiry in motion, desiring to experience its own love through the mirror that the contrast of polarity creates. The universe is polarized because within that polarity, within the game the creator plays within duality, the creator can understand more of itself by using these opposite perspectives, using these contrasting perspectives. And through that contrast, through that polarity, the creator is able to generate more experience of its own love, of its own truth, of its own beauty, its own goodness. We operate from that same principle in terms of like contrast. But the thing is, we have finite minds, and so contrast and polarity isn't just for us to explore and have fun and desire. It's also for us to know and to evolve and to transform and to be more aligned with the truth of reality, with the non-dual reality. Yeah, I just like completely lost my train of thought. Hey, give me a sec. Let me find that bitch. We got to stay in the tension until clarity arises. Not judging yourself. Transformation also. Honestly, I forgot. Fuck it. Let's just go back to the alchemy. You can't judge yourself for other people moving differently, because that's the point, right? There are archetypes, temperaments, but even still within those archetypes, within those temperaments, everyone is still unique. That's important, because if you don't respect your own uniqueness, your own desires, and you instead believe that someone else's desires have to be yours, you're going to be too busy living a lie and hating yourself. I promise, bro. I lived that shit for 10 years. I said, fuck that shit in the last 2. Holy fuck. It is changed. It's freed me. It's freed me. In the last 3 months, I've gotten to a place where it's like, I stopped looking for the world to understand me because I finally just saw myself enough. I finally got to the point where I saw myself clear enough and I loved myself enough for me to stop expecting the world to understand me and me stop hoping that the world's understanding of me will make me feel good. Now, I just said, fuck it. The world's never going to understand, and that's cool because I understand. I love myself. And you know what? God understands and God loves me. I'm good, Davey. Like, what are we talking about? When you love God and you love yourself, loving your neighbor, it's a byproduct, like I said. When you love God with all your being, all you want to do is serve. This goes into the final science of rigorous mysticism. Living paradox. Now, you probably haven't heard of this one, because this is mine. Right? So like everyone knows, well, most people actually don't know about ontology, unfortunately, but most people know cosmology, ethics, theology, alchemy. Living paradox, this is the one. So you know how there's ontology, cosmology, ethics? Then there's theology that reflects ontology, right? So there's the universal impersonal octave of ontology, cosmology, ethics. Then there is the personal and unique octave, which is theology, alchemy, and living paradox. So ethics is, how do I act in alignment with how reality works? Living paradox is, how do I act in alignment with how I work? So like, just because two people are writers doesn't mean that their creative process is the same, right? Their writing process is the same. So like for me, when it comes to like, let's say like writing a Substack article, I don't really sit down at like a blank page and just like start typing words on like for newsletters. I always have an idea, and I usually expand on ideas in like my pocket journal, and then I'll just yap, and I usually expand my ideas through yappage. I capture them a lot through like writing, and then I compress my ideas with writing a lot, right? And so like for me, I use writing either when like the words are like too much in my head and they got to get out, right? And so that's kind of like thinking in progress, or when the thinking's already been done and now I'm crystallizing. I usually don't touch my computer like to like make a Substack post. Like I won't start writing something for Substack unless I've gotten to the point where it's already crystallized. You feel what I'm saying? And so like, it's different than like with a YouTube video. There are tons of things in this video that have like come up that I've never articulated before. And so I've like gone down rabbit holes, blah, 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 blah. I use speaking to expand. Writing, I use writing to expand as well, but I don't do expansive writing in public, right? I do expansive writing in private, a lot of it. That's where most of my writing is. And then I like post something on Substack. Now with my short form is different because short form is kind of just like a window into my thoughts. And some of those thoughts are in motion. You know what I mean? And so like, I understand how writing moves through me. But like someone else, they might like write ideas down, and then they also like journaling to expand and to really articulate themselves. For me, journaling is too slow for the rate of like the rate that my mind moves at. Most of the time, I just gotta yap. Now, sometimes saying words won't do it and I need to fucking write them. And sometimes words won't do it and I just gotta start sketching shit. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it goes like that too. The problem is you're gonna judge yourself for how other people move if you don't understand how the process moves through you. Let me actually give you this example. I loved drawing as a kid. Like I used to make like tons of comic books and I used to draw all the time. And I used to make comic books with my best friends, Samir and Jamar. Those are my elementary school best friends. Thing is, Samir and Jamar, they were more like refined in their craft than I was. I was always a very rough drawer. And the thing is, they were too. They were just more refined than I was. And I started judging myself for that. I actually had this friend also, her name is Safia. She was a fucking killer with the pencil, dog. Oh my God. Like the things Safia can do with the pencil, you know what I mean, bro? And once we got to like 4th grade, I felt a lot of that. Well, and I honestly stopped drawing after 5th grade, right? So like after 4th grade, my boy Jamar, he moved to South Jersey. I'm from New York. And then my boy Samir, he went to boarding school. And so both of my best friends who I was making comic books with, who I was drawing with, they were gone. And so I was judging myself for not being good enough. And both of my boys weren't here. Why would I keep drawing? I just feel like trash. So I stopped. And I kid you not, bro, like I had a lot of this pattern with dancing. I stopped dancing. I've always loved dancing. I stopped dancing when I was like 10 because I was too busy I was too scared of being judged by, you know, like people at my school, you know, like the cool guys. I thought, you know, they danced better than me and I didn't want to look like an idiot because I don't know any moves. And bro, like I've been releasing 10 years of stored body trauma of my body wanting to move to a song and my mind telling it no. You know what I mean? Like I've been releasing it over the last 2 years. Like every time I throw on like some Latin music and I'll start like spinning around like a ballerina, I feel the most free I've ever feel when I'm like spinning around like a ballerina. I'm gonna be so real, dog. Because when the music wants to move me, it wants to move me. And for a decade, I said, fuck you, music. Fuck you, desire. Fuck you, body. And it was just like, oh, damn, that sucks. No wonder I was fucking depressed. I wasn't going outside. I wasn't being active. I used to make my first YouTube videos when I was 8 years old. I actually, tomorrow will be the 14-year anniversary. Actually, wait, is this video gonna come out tomorrow? Oh, no, this video will come out in 2 days. So this video is being recorded on February 23rd, but it'll be released on February 25th. February 24th, 2012 was my first day ever uploading YouTube videos. In fact, me and Samir, right, my best friend Samir, we were literally in my childhood home, in my living room. He came over, you know, for us to like have like a fucking play date. And we had my grandfather's laptop, 360p webcam, hit and record. We made our first 5 YouTube videos, February 24th, 2012, right there in my living room with that shitty ass webcam. It was fucking sick. And ever since then, I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber. I knew it. The thing is, I already known for the last couple of years. You know, I was super into like Minecraft YouTubers and like gaming and stuff like that when I was a kid. This is like 08, right? 09. And then eventually like 2012, I was super into YouTube. I was making YouTube videos for 2 years, bro, from 8 to 10. And you know what? 3 weeks into my YouTube journey, I had a video pop off, 15K views. It was called How to Make a Samurai Morpher, in parentheses, paper. I always loved making shit out of paper. And so I had this like super cool like method I came up with making like a Power Rangers morpher, like a samurai Power Rangers morpher out of paper. It's fucking sick, dog. That video did 15, 20K views in the first 2 weeks. I kid you not, bro. Ever since then, I was fucked. Well, obviously, I've done the work now, but as a kid, my greatest dream was to be a YouTuber. Unfortunately, if you want to make it as a YouTuber, you know, back then, you needed views, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views per video. And I was this 8, 9-year-old kid who'd had one video do well, and the rest of his videos were barely touching those. I'd had a few other videos, 1K, 3K, 5K, 9K, handful, maybe like half a dozen to a dozen. But in my 100 videos that I posted my first 2 years, most of them did like 20 to like 50, less than 100. That fucking killed me. Killed me. Because my dream was to be a YouTuber. But I wasn't good enough to produce the numbers to be that. So I stopped. Stopped dancing, stopped drawing, stopped making YouTube videos. From 10 to 19, up even into like a bit of my early 20s. I'm 22 now. Jadis just didn't allow himself to express himself. You remember earlier when I said the eye of the scientist, the mind of the engineer, the heart of the philosopher, the hands of the architect, the soul of the artist? Yeah, I lost those last two after 10. The architect, the builder, he comes from the artist, the soul. I still had the eye of the scientist. I still had the mind of the engineer. I still had the heart of the philosopher. But I was disconnected from my soul and from my hands, my craft. And for me, like I'm not really much of like a hand craftsman. I'm more of like a mind craftsman, you know. But even still, I like to build shit. Since I was disconnected from those things, my telos was cut off. Transformation. Like the thing is, for me, I'm like an absolute nerd and a lover of wisdom. And I take those things that I know and my ability to see, my ability to think in systems, my heart for understanding truth, my hands for building things, and I make shit. I distill love and wisdom into form. Why? Telos? What's the purpose? Transformation. Remember earlier when I said I make safe spaces so that consciousness can open itself up and allow the love and transformation that was already there to move through it? That's what Jaden does. He understands reality, first for himself, second so he can build things for others. Really, it's all one thing, but it just kind of happens sequentially like that. Yeah. Only in the last 2 years, when I got reconnected to art, was I able to even find the foundational thing that could help me realize that all of these things, the eye of the scientist, the mind of the engineer, the heart of the philosopher, the hands of the architect, the soul of the artist, none of these things were ever separate, and they were all one like stack to serve one function: transform souls. That's it. Once I was reconnected to my interiority, I was able to move from that place. Thing is, really, this kind of like rabbit hole started because I was talking about not understanding how like the creative medium worked properly for you and move through you. I came to this realization about 3 weeks ago, January 29th. Let me actually read this to you. January 29th, 2026, 1:09 p.m. The day I stopped judging myself for being an, quote, undisciplined drawer. Today in the shower, I had a revelation. I'd been marinating on it for days, but it finally clicked into place. The receptive and expressive aspects of the creative process are two parts of one alchemical process. Right? So there is receptive process, how reality enters you, how reality transforms you. Then there is the expressive process, which is how you transform reality, right? How transformation moves through you back into reality. And so you see here, these appear as two distinct sequences, but it's one movement of reality back to reality. You are just the middle point. You're just a channel. You're just a bridge. You're just a bridge for love and transformation to move through, okay? This is the thing, like, you don't generate love. You don't generate transformation. You're not the generator of electricity. You're the jumper cables. So there's like the source. There are the jumper cables, right? So like, like a car, a car. There's one car that has the power, has the electricity. There's another car that's dead that needs to get jumped. The jumper cables route. The problem is we get stuck when we try to expect ourselves to be the generators of love and of transformation. I mean, that makes sense. It's like, that's like asking a generator. I mean, that's like asking jumper cables to generate electricity. It's like if you plugged up jumper cables to a dead car and was like confused about why it wasn't working, it's because they don't have a source of electricity to be connected to route it. It's like, what are we talking about, bro? The jumper cables don't generate electricity. That's not their function. They route it. You do not generate love or transformation. You are not the source. You are the channel, the bridge, the medium. When you allow love and transformation to move through you, rather than trying to create these things for yourself, you don't have to create shit. You just have to open yourself to reality and allow it to do its work. Living paradox is about understanding your proper placement. Before I was talking about with like me and sketching, right? I judged myself when I was a kid because I saw the exterior of my sketches being rough, and I thought that had to change. But the thing is, that was never what sketching was about for me. Sketching was always supposed to be rough exteriorly because the interiority was where it was refined. It was in the message. It was in the story of the comic book. It was in the words themselves. It was in what the symbol was representing. Not how neat it looked. Not how many hours I spent drawing it. What does it say about truth, about love, about life, about the human experience? And is that real? And on that day, right, January, that was the day I realized that I'd been judging myself for treating drawing as like a contact medium that doesn't get refined because it's not supposed to. But the thing is, I was also judging myself for drawing and having like crystallized things that aren't refined. Because the thing is, the refinement is never the outside polish. It's the inside. That's why, like, for me, I don't try to like clean up my language or like act some kind of way or do anything. Like, I don't give a fuck about performing for the internet because I don't give a fuck. Because I'm not here for everyone. I'm here for my people. And the thing is, certain people actually like that exterior ruggedness. They don't want all the polish. Because if your interior is polished enough, that's what matters to them. If the internal depth is real, what's outside is whatever. And the thing is, when the internal is real and the outside resonates with you, that's when you got a real connection. A lot of these spiritual motherfuckers be trying to front. A lot of self-improvement motherfuckers be trying to front. I don't do any of that. I'm not a self-improvement motherfucker. I am spiritual, but I'm not a spiritual motherfucker like most of these woo-mob. You know what I mean? Most of these woo-mob motherfuckers, bro. I reject blind faith. I reject dogmatic belief. I reject pop spirituality. I love self-improvement, but I think it's a trap. Because there is no improving yourself. There is allowing transformation that was already there to transform you, right? Self-improvement implies I have to do something. Now, the thing is, you have to participate, but you don't generate the love and the transformation. That's the thing with self-improvement. Self-improvement can get you trapped in this like egoic, I have to do all of the things. I am the only agent. It's just bullshit. It's just not true, right? Living paradox is about how you uniquely live lawfully. For me, not dancing when the music calls me to dance is a violation of Jaden's lived truth. That's what it is. For me, not singing when a song starts playing in the radio station in my head would be a violation of Jaden expressing himself. For me, not like spending hours a day, like basically like 80% of my day learning and building stuff, because those are the two things that just bring me so like the most amount of joy and fulfillment. Like if I didn't do those things, I would be living unlawfully with how God made me. Other people not doing those things or not doing them specifically how I do it, that's got nothing to do with me. Nor does it have to do with them. Wait. You know what I'm saying? How other people are moving isn't your fucking business. You need to place yourself properly. Like for me, let me give you this example. I spend most of my creative time in like philosophy and like architecture mode. I also love making music. I love dancing. I love writing poetry. The thing is, those are actually two different like fuel sources for me. For me, philosophy and architecture, it's outward, it's pursuing, it's I'm gonna go get that shit. For me, music and poetry and dancing, it's inward, it's receptive, it's reality has said, Jaden, I'm entering you, now you move. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right. It's like the verses just come and they're like, write me. And I'm like, I'm going. You know what I mean? It's like the music starts moving, the quantities, the mathematics get into my body, and it's like, Jaden, we want you to move, and I'm like, I hear you, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, bro. I understand how reality wants to move through me. I align with it. That's living paradox. That's living your unique placement properly, not violating how love and transformation wants to move through you uniquely and acting from that place. Loving others, transforming others from that place. So we're going to call it there. That was rigorous mysticism, the sixfold interior science. Let me actually give you the final ground. Amor astylos. So this isn't like a seventh science. This is the thing that governs all things, right? So the first octave, ontology. What is? The law of love. Then there is the second science, which is cosmology. How what is moves, the law of transformation. Then there's ethics. That is, how do we align, right? So like everything is just these two laws applied. So like there's what is the law of love. There's how what is moves in the universe, the law of transformation. Everything else is just applying those two laws. Ethics is, okay, if reality is love and reality is transformation, how do I align with that loveful, lawful transformation and act from that place? Then theology comes in next. Theology is inherently relational. And so your direct experience in contact with reality, with people, ethics, how you act, that directly informs your relationship with the absolute, right? So theology happens when you apply ontology, cosmology, and ethics. Alchemy, how I know reality lawfully moves through me, that comes when I've cultivated my relationship with the absolute, my personal relationship with God, and I understand what God has given me uniquely as my desire, how God's desire moves through me uniquely. And then living paradox is, okay, based on that understanding, how do I actually incorporate those things? How do I put those things in my body? How do I integrate those things? How do I build from that place to serve others? So that's the second octave, right? The first octave, ontology, cosmology, ethics, universal, impersonal law. The second octave, theology, alchemy, living paradox, completely unique to the individual. There are temperaments, there are archetypes that unique selves divulge to. Your process is your process. You are a unique tool with a unique problem to solve. The ground is amor as telos. The purpose of life is love. It's to open ourselves to love, to experience more of it, to know the truth and the beauty and the goodness of love. And then to not let it stay there, but to give it back out to the world. And to allow the world to transform from that place so that we can all grow in our expansion, our capacity to hold love together. This was good. I've been yapping for too long. I'm hungry, and I gotta pee.